Hello, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Well, today's Thursday. I've been going through this week Micah, the Old Testament book, asking the question that comes off of the meaning of his name. Micah in Hebrew could be translated, "Who is like our God?" Who is like the Lord? And as we've been walking through Micah, we've seen God as a God of love, a God of justice, a God of consistency, a God where we should never expect anything less than what God says he'll do, though that may be unexpected to us. But today, I'd like to focus on a very important aspect of God that Micah sets out. Micah sets out the fact that God is a God of mercy. Mercy. We live in a world that needs and cries out for mercy. Jesus taught us that the merciful would be blessed and that we should seek to show mercy to others. And I want to read a passage out of Micah, the 7th chapter, that deals with this. Remembering Micah's name alone means who is like our God. Micah makes a play off of his name. Here in the 7th chapter of his book, the last chapter, at the very end of the book, and this is the way the book ends. This is the end of who is like our God. Verse 18, who is a God like you, who pardons sin and forgives the transgression of the remembrance of the remnant of his inheritance. You do not stay angry forever, but you delight to show mercy. You will again have compassion on us. You will tread our sins underfoot and hurl all our iniquities into the depths of the sea, because God is faithful and keeps his love. And that's our God. Now, when I say who is like our God, and I talk about God's mercy, I am reminded of the fact that I want to be like God. I want to reflect God's love. I want to reflect God's purity and holiness, but I also want to reflect God's mercy. I want people to perceive that I have a first-hand experience of God's mercy. And so I am merciful and forgiving of others. And I must tell you, I do have a first-hand experience of God's mercy. I've done things that I blush to think about. I haven't done things that I should have done. I've done things that merit deep guilt and shame. But I've also experienced the refreshing, rejuvenating, resuscitating, vibrant mercy of a merciful God. Forgiveness of a forgiving God. And if I've really experienced that in myself, shouldn't I be showing that to others? Who is like our God? Nobody, but I sure would like to be, so I'm working on it. It's my pledge to try and do better by God's help. And that's your video thought for the day.